You're listening to She's the Business podcast.
I had so many people say to me that they found the episode about how to think like a marketer really interesting and useful. And when I recorded it, I realized, you know what, this isn't it. I've got 6 different principles here, but there are a few more that are even more so important, I think, than some of the ones that I shared in that initial episode. So I'm back with a part 2 today. We've got 5 more different things to think about in order to help you think more like a strategic marketer, a real person who understands marketing and how to do it authentically, with integrity, and in the right way that brings you the right clients. So stay tuned. It's coming right up. Hi, I'm your host, Jessica Osborne, and over the last 25 years in marketing and business, I've helped many brands to launch, scale, and grow, with some of them becoming multi-billion-dollar companies. I'm here to inspire you to get out of your own way and create a profitable, fulfilling business while living the lifestyle you really desire, without all the hustle. So I bring you She's the Business podcast, a unique blend of strategies, tactics, mindset, health, and spirituality, literally everything you need to be the successful leader of your dream business. Made by women for women, this is your weekly dose of motivation and inspiration. Hello, beautiful people. Now, back in episode 204, just 2 episodes ago, I did an episode called How to Think Like a Marketer So You Can Attract Better Clients. And in that episode, I shared 6 principles that every really good marketer understands. That's what helps them to have effective marketing. And as I created that list and started to share it with you, I realized I've left some other ones off this list that are really equally as important. Maybe some of these are even more impactful and powerful. So I thought, well, let's do a part 2 to that episode. And so today we have another 5 ways to think like a marketer. And in saying that, I just want to reiterate that this doesn't mean that you're going to be a marketer. If that has any kind of negative connotation to you, this isn't about how to trick people or coerce people. It is the dead opposite. The real marketing is not tricking or coercing or putting this shiny outer image on where there's absolutely nothing behind the scenes. That's called trickery. That's sort of forgery, fakeness, all of those things. Now, the best people in the world who are really great at marketing are simply great communicators. They're great at communicating what it is that they do and attracting in the right clients. Now, I would say that those who are the best are full of integrity. What they do, what they say is 100% true and accurate. So I'm wanting to create a huge separation between what you might label as somebody who's great at marketing, meaning they're just great at marketing themselves, but they're not actually great at what they do. Well, I'd have to say that's a like really short-term strategy because people see through it, right? You see through it. That's why you're like, well, they're just good at marketing, but they're not actually doing what they say. You've seen through it. Therefore, it's actually not working. So let's put that aside. Maybe those people are good at promotion, but I would say that they're not great at marketing if you've seen through and actually can tell that it's all just a great big giant lie. So let's talk about what are these 5 ways to understand your business, understand your people, and or thinking like a marketer, meaning how do I actually attract in the right people? Now, these are principles that I operate by in my business. They're principles that I share with my clients in Business Jam, what I teach, what I preach, what I do in business, right? So the very first one is that all tactics work. Okay, that is a fact. There is no doubt. And what's really interesting, I find, is that you can go onto the internet on any given day and you will find somebody telling you that there is one way of doing something, that there is the thing that's working right now, meaning like this is the tactic that you need to be doing if you want your marketing to work. So maybe today it is get on LinkedIn. Tomorrow it's going to be TikTok. And next day it'll be Threads. Of course, there are podcast days. There's literally everything days, right? There is somebody telling you on any platform that there is a way that works when others don't. Now, I'm just going to come out there and say, well, they're all correct and they're all incorrect because all of the tactics work. They wouldn't exist if they didn't work. They all work. But they don't all work for you necessarily, and not all at the same time, meaning like they all work. Yes, it's not about which is the one that works. It's actually about what are the ingredients you're putting into it. Because when you have your base ingredients right in your business, meaning these are like the first two elements of my framework in Business Jam, when you know exactly who it is that you are there to serve and you have the thing that's exactly what they want, the right offer that's aligned, when you've got those two things, you can choose any tactic and it will work, right? They all will work for you. So the question then becomes not which one is the best one, which one should I use? It's like, which one is most aligned to my ideal client, to this offer? What's the best fit? Which one should I choose, right? Not tell me what the one is that I need to go and do and then go and blindly do it. That's just going to send you off down that path of what I like to call the marketing treadmill. You'll spend hours and weeks and days and months and years for some people of their time before they realize I'm just keeping really busy doing all this activity, and it's not the activity that causes the result. What causes the result is what's in behind the scenes. Do you know who it is that you're selling to? And if you've got something that they want? Really simple. That's it. That's all there is to business. Well, we'll say there's a few more little things. There's a few more ingredients in there that help it come together, but those are the foundational pieces. It's like if you had a bridge with no pylons on each side of the waterway, the bridge wouldn't be a bridge. It wouldn't be there. It would be kind of like something on top of the water. Wouldn't be standing up in the air and allowing you to travel across the water. So let's make sure we've got those there. Stop trying to have the top part of the bridge without setting the foundations first, because it just doesn't work. Oh, I really love to share that because I'm like, if I could just tell everybody in the world, guys, stop jumping straight into the tactics. If you haven't got the ingredients, then it doesn't matter which one you do, whose method you try, how proven it is, or whatever. It does not work if you don't have the ingredients. You need to have the ingredients, then you can choose any of them. And yes, they'll all work. You can use whoever's 7-step method. You can decide what you do like and what you don't like, and it will work for you, right? So I think I've said enough on that one. Hopefully that has been driven home. So that was number 1. All tactics work. That is a fact. Number 2 is invite, don't chase. Now, I guess for me, this is a real bit of a pet peeve because there's nothing that I hate worse than waking up in the morning, looking at my notifications, and there's some puppet in my DM inbox going, hey, do you have an agency? Or can I ask you a quick question? Any one of these really low-level, boring, basic DM hooks to try to start a conversation with you. And I'm like, well, first of all, if you could read, then you can read straight away and see what it is that I do. If you had a question, a normal person acting in integrity would have just asked the question. So stop getting out there and trying to chase down clients. I've not put up my hand. I've not reached out to them and said, I want something from you. I'm quite happy doing what I'm doing, and there's literally nothing worse than feeling like you're being chased. What do you do when you're being chased? You run fast, you run faster. Maybe you shut the door, right? Delete, block, get out of here. Please stop. There's nothing worse than feeling like you're being chased. Please stop chasing people. Please invite them instead. Like, invite people to come in, the ones who are already interested, who already want what it is that you do. Maybe they don't know you, but they want what it is that you offer. That's who you're speaking to. This is not rocket science. This is super, super simple. There's a core premise of marketing, real marketing. It's not about the action or activity. It is about being aligned with who it is you're speaking to and offering something that they already want. Now, if that's not who you're talking to, I guarantee you 95% of people out there are currently trying to speak to people who do not want what it is that they do. And then they're saying, oh, it's not working. This doesn't work for me. Oh, it's so hard to get clients. No, it's not. You're just talking to the wrong people. You're talking to someone who doesn't want what you already have. Maybe you're trying to convince them. I had some guy, and yes, I'm going to tell the story because you know, I really, really, really try to be nice. And every now and then I think, you know what, I'm going to give someone the benefit of the doubt. They'd asked a question and I thought, here we go. Here's someone just trying to open up a cold DM conversation, but I'd responded. And I think I said, how can I help you? Because I'm like, well, that's a sure way to find out whether it's actually genuine or not. Like, can I help you? Tell me what it is that you want to know. Came back with, oh no, I'm just here for a casual chat. Literally 3 messages later, so what are your goals for this year? And I'm like, oh, excuse me, random stranger, you came into my inbox, remember? I have not reached out to you. I haven't opened up a conversation about what my goals are. That's not a question that someone who's just there for a casual general chat asks. So it's really disappointing. And that's really, the door slams shut at that point. It should have already slammed shut before that and saved us both a bit of time. And, you know, how disrespectful of time when, you know, people have not put up their hand and said, I want to know more, tell me more, to be going in there and wasting their time. Like, it's just so disrespectful. For me, I think that's what it is, you know, at the bottom line, and why I really detest it so much. How hard is it to put that time instead into your own marketing? Get clear on who your ideal customer is and why they want what it is that you have. Start talking about it. Put it out there, whatever platform you decide. It doesn't have to be social media. It could be a podcast. It could be YouTube. It could be whatever you decide it to be on. Maybe it's a blog. Maybe it's wherever. It doesn't matter. Put that out there. Start talking about it. Invite whoever reads it or engages or watches or whatever to take the next step, to put up their hand and say, I want to know more. Give them that step, provide it. Now that takes far less time, because guess what? You only do it once. It can be seen by multiple people. Then this incessant reaching out and trying to drum up clients and leads from a completely cold audience who do not know you. I'm not even in your audience. You've just searched and found me somewhere on the internet and thought, I'm going to reach out to that person. Why? I haven't said anything or indicated in any way that I'd be interested. And the same is happening for everybody out there in the world right now who's receiving these cold DMs. I think this is one of the reasons why I don't hang out on LinkedIn very often. Why? Because every time I go there, in my inbox, it's just full of people prospecting. Like, ugh, get out. I'm like, I'm so over that. I will reach out when I have an interest and a need. I do not need somebody in my inbox trying to drum me up, because that does the opposite. It has the opposite effect. I'm not sure if the same is for you as well. Let me know. But you know what? The longer that you stay in this game, the more tired you get of just the same thing over and over and over again. It's done. This is not the 1990s anymore. This is 2024. We've got an abundance of choice. We don't need someone popping into our inbox saying, oh, hi, I can help you out with XYZ. It's like, yeah, there's a zillion other people doing that. So why do I need you? You're a random stranger. I don't even know anything about you. No one is going to take that step forward. The first thing they're going to do is probably go out on Google and find somebody or ask their people, and they will choose to take a step forward with someone that they think has authority, that has expertise, not someone that's just popped into their inbox. Now, you're probably thinking, well, there's always exceptions to the rule. Yeah, there is always an exception to the rule. Maybe there is a person who you might find that you want to have a conversation with and it turns into that. But I'd have to say, let people ask you. Let people invite you into their inbox. Let them raise the topic, let them ask the question and reach out. Because when they do that, that is the indication they're ready to talk about it. If they have not, then they're not ready and it's the wrong time and you're just slamming that door shut, wasting both of your time. So I could probably do a whole episode on that. I'm very passionate about it, as you can tell. Please invite, don't chase. Invite people into your world. Invite them to come into your inbox instead of going into theirs uninvited. Ugh, please. Anyway, number 3, please never assume. And this is probably related to that. Let's take this a step further. What do I mean by never assume? So don't put people in a box and say, oh, well, that person is a coach, therefore they have a problem that all coaches have. No, they may not. And never assume that they do, because there's nothing more off-putting or disengaging from somebody assuming things about you when they do not know you from a bar of soap. So in your marketing, in your messaging, in your emails, on your website, in any interaction that you have with somebody, never assume you know about them. Let them tell you things and then you can ask questions on it. You might say, are you? Could you turn it into a question? Questions are great. Leave a bit of wiggle room, because guess what happens when you make the assumption? When you tell someone, and I've had people do this to me. They say, I know your business. And I'm like, what, from a 2-minute review of my website? And you telling me you know my business? That is just highly ludicrous. It's ridiculous. Of course you don't know my business. You don't know anything about it. You haven't even spoken to me. You do not know until you know. And so let's never assume that we know. You don't know anything about it unless the person's told you themselves, okay? It is a core, really simple principle that comes with any communication. This is how you have people lean into you, because we're going to not assume, but we're going to inquire, suggest, invite. We're going to give them the empowerment, the wiggle room to be like, well, no, that doesn't feel relevant to me actually, but what you said over here does. And the interesting thing that I found is when you take that approach, when you suggest, when you show that you do understand things that you see, but you're always giving somebody the opportunity to say, well, that's actually not how it is for me. They're not turned off from you because you've said it as, this is something I see, it's common. Maybe it's the same for you. They're thinking, well, yeah, it is. Or no, actually, you're right. It's not the same for me. They're not turned away because you've allowed them to make that choice, because you've allowed them and you've respected them. You're knowing that, hey, you know what? There can always be an exception to the rule, right? So let's please stop assuming. I see posts out there so often. People are reading minds saying, you are this and you're thinking that, and this is what makes you feel. And it's like, that could be true. And it might be common and something that you've seen and you have lots of examples of, but it does not mean that everyone who's reading it is thinking that, feeling that, or doing it. So let's not tell them that they are. Let's instead make it a suggestion. Give them a little bit of an if. Like, if you're like a lot of those people, then you're thinking, feeling, and doing this, right? That is so much easier to take a bite of and to absorb and to stay on board with, because you know that you can decide whether that's true for you or not. And this person who doesn't know you, who's never spoken to you, isn't telling you. We don't like to be told as humans. I think the first thing we do, natural reaction, put up a wall and say, nope, you don't know me at all, actually. And then we're gone. So principle number 3, never assume. Never assume. Always give them some wiggle room. Principle number 4, and this one actually I already spoke a tiny bit about at the very start of this episode, and this is that everything that you do, you must be doing with an integrity. And by that I mean you are walking your talk. If you're talking about, this is what you're standing up on your soapbox and you're saying things and you're passionate about it, you're advising people, and then you're not doing it, well, that just cuts that credibility straight in half. Maybe it even throws it in the rubbish bin. So are we walking our talk? Are we doing the things that we say? So, I see sometimes we might laugh and be like, do what I say, not what I do. It's like, oh, well, I don't know if that sits all that well with people these days, right? I want to see someone actually doing what they say and then showing other people how they can do the same. And by that, I mean not necessarily taking a cookie cutter, because I do not believe in cookie cutters anywhere in business work. But like, here's how I design my wheel for my vehicle to suit the type of vehicle I have, how it's really well optimized. And I can help you design the right wheel for your vehicle, because I know what the steps are so that you can make sure that your wheel is the right fit for your vehicle, right? So that's a bit of analogy with your business. Here's how you can do it in the way that's going to work for you. And I can show you how to do that because I've found a solution. I've designed mine to work the right way for me. And it's the same process, maybe just different inputs that are going to be the right way for you. And that's exactly the approach I take. So here I am walking my talk. That's what I do inside Business Jam. in my program, it's a framework where it's a decision-making framework, and I show people how to define and refine the various aspects of that core strategy. Who it is that they're targeting, what they're offering, how to speak to them, and how to understand how to speak to them. Like all of these sort of templates and formulas that I have are not prescriptive. I'm not saying these are the words that you need to use. I'm saying here's how you define the pieces of it, and here's how you put it together. But all of everybody's individual inputs are going to be different. So nobody sounds the same when they come out of it, but they understand deeply how to do it for themselves, which is the most important thing. They don't need me. They're not on a life drip to me forevermore. I'm like, no, once I've shared this with you and you've gained this knowledge and expertise yourself, you're good, off you go. So that's the difference between providing a cookie cutter where no one has to do anything. They're literally just going down step by step and implementing the exact same thing versus learning how to do it for themselves, understanding how to think, how to see these pieces, how to strategically use them, how to align them so that you've got the right offer for the right person, so that you're talking to them in the right way, so that you're choosing the right marketing activities in order to be able to bring them in consistently. And then, of course, to get those conversions. That's what a framework does. It helps you make the right decisions for your business. It doesn't say, here's exactly what I do, now follow me and your business will be the same, because we both know that's an absolute lie. It does not work like that. We're not the same. We don't have the exact same background, business, vibe, personality, target client offering. Like, even if it was similar, it's still not the same.
Isn't it just so frustrating when you know that out there are so many people that actually need your help, and there's many actively looking for somebody just like you, yet all you seem to attract are the odd eye kicker or really uncommitted client that's kind of dabbling and they don't light you up. They really don't get great results. And you're thinking, what does it actually take to attract clients who are committed, who are happy to pay proper prices for what it is that I do, and that I can help to have really great results? What has it got to take? Well, it's not in the activity of what you're doing. Here's the thing. It's usually something else that's a bit deeper. And I'm sharing with you what that is in my training. It's called 5 Keys to Premium Paying Clients. And I'm going to share with you what are these 5 things that you need to have in your strategy so that no matter what tactic or activity you choose to do, it actually works. Like, it works. You attract the right clients, the ones who are ready to work with you, the ones who are ready to pay and sign up. So get yourself over to my website now on jessicaosborne.com/TMF, register for this free class, and let's dive right in. So once again, that's jessicaosborne.com/TMF, and the link is below in the show notes as well. I encourage you to register now, allocate just over an hour of your time, maybe up to an hour and a half, so you can take some notes and really reflect on the things that I share with you in this class. And let's change your year this year. Let's make your business actually turn into your dream business together.